the same week, sir, the 3 families of the former Minister of Information and other innocent citizens were kidnapped for ransom. A ransom was paid for their freedom. Mr. Speaker, permit me to also say that just last week, students of Nasarawa State University, Kefi, were kidnapped. Also, students of Federal University, Lafia, were kidnapped. And to the glory of God, the ones in Federal University, Lafia, were just released yesterday. Ransoms were paid by the family members. Convinced that if the rising trend of insecurity and kidnapping is not checked, it will destroy lives and ruin the economic fortunes of the state. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I therefore call on the House to resolve to 1, urge the federal government to establish a permanent military, police, and other security formations to strengthen the security of the state, and to mandate the committees on defense, army, air force, police affairs, and emergency and disaster preparedness to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
I think this is straightforward. I will just put the question. Any seconder to this motion first?
Contribution, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you. I think Solomon. Not you. Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Solomon Wombo. I represent Kasnala, Okum, Logo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I'm from Benue State. I stand to second the motion ably moved by my colleague, Jerry Umaru. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Defense, Army, Air Force, Police Affairs, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
The 11th order of the day is a motion to ban inappropriate educational materials in nursery and pre-primary schools in Nigeria. Standing in the name of Honorable Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. Honorable Gumi is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. I am Dr. Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. I represent the good people of Gumi, Buku Federal Constituency from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, this is a motion that calls for the ban on inappropriate educational materials in nursery and pre-primary schools in Nigeria. For want of time, I would summarize a little bit. Concerned about the influx of foreign educational materials introduced in nursery and primary schools in Nigeria, which tends to teach and promote certain morals that are alien and inimical to our cherished norms and values. Also concerned that the widely used book, Queen Primer, subtly introduced terms like gay, eros, etc. that commonize sexual perversion and immoral behavior, thus exposing innocent children to terms inappropriate for their age, which is unlawful, unethical, highly immoral, and antithetical to child upbringing. Cognizant of the need to instill and protect moral values in children and society at large by resisting the use of educational materials that teach or promote any form of alien behavior which violates the laws and moral values in all educational institutions, especially in nursery and primary schools. The House resolved to urge the federal government to place a total ban on the local production, importation, and use of any educational material that contains such words that teach or promote lesbianism, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT in our schools throughout the country. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Education, the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, and Education Research Council, ERC, to carefully vet and censor and the content of educational materials used in nursery and primary schools in the country and ensure that they are appropriate and devoid of any connotation of immoral behavior. Number 3, mandate the Committee on Basic Education to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes, Navy Commander. Former. Not present. Retired.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Abbas Ajigun, represent the people of Ibadan Southeast, Ibadan Northeast Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this important motion, heavily moved by my colleague, Honorable Gomi. I so second. Thank you, sir.
This is not one of those motions where you just ask the question. It's very topical. And that is why we're going to have 2 on this side and 2 on the other side to ventilate on this, because it's a very serious issue that goes to the root of our culture, our norms, our values. Honorable Sada Soli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this motion is timely. Mr. Speaker, this motion, if we allow this inappropriate content in our schools, first, it may lead to confusion in our schools and potential emotional distress on our children. Also, we should consider the legal implications. Remember, this country, we have an act that prohibits these things in the society, talk less of even in our schools. So this will violate some of our laws and regulations governing our educational system. And the impact of this in our classroom climate, by way of creating negative environment among our children, will impact the society in the next hundreds of decades to come. Mr. Speaker, a part of representation of our cultural, societal values, and above all, the contradiction on our religious upbringing as a country that is deeply based on religious background. So we must not allow this inappropriate content in our schools. And also, Mr. Speaker, if we allow these things to go on, the insensitivity to students' background and experience will make our young people uncontrollable if we move on. So I urge all members that are deeply religious in this country, which I believe the 360 members of this are brought up from a very, very sound religious background, that abhor this kind of behavior in our society. Mr. Speaker, I believe members will contribute positively so that we can stop this inappropriate content circulating in our educational system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Can we have Honorable Shaba? I think I will increase it to 3-3. 3 this side, 3 this side, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North.
But make it brief whenever you stand to talk. Straight to the point.
And Odeda Federal Constituency from Ogun State. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. Nigeria has cultural values. We need to strengthen our cultural values. This timely motion is needed to stop what is going on around the world. We need to stand firm. Some African countries are being bullied to join. We know of what happened in our sister nation, Uganda, where the Western world said they would not approve loans until they joined them in this act. Nigeria should stand firm. We as parliamentarians should stand firm and make sure we protect our cultural values. And we should make sure, in addition, programs that teach such should be stopped henceforth. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Let me give the opportunity to Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want so that you can say something.
These
As a senior member of the parliament. I know it's a sensitive and very topical issue. Most of you who want to say something will try and, but we'll make other motions short. Go ahead, make it straight to the point, please.
This particular motion is timely, and this particular motion should also extend to online censorship, because every country have their own culture and ideas. Nigeria particularly, we have a culture that abhors teaching our kids what is not right. I remember vividly when we were growing up, some of the names existing these days, gay.
Please use your microphone.
Sorry. These days, these names have become very rampant, and our kids are learning things that shouldn't have been learned. So, Mr. Speaker, I not only want the House to ban this in pre-primary and secondary, in pre-primary schools, we want to extend it to secondary schools, because this is where the whole thing, where the system is rotten. And even if the House permits, higher institutions too, because Nigeria has a culture, as my friends have said, and we cannot be importing cultures that are alien to our behavior. So, Mr. Speaker, this particular motion, I wholeheartedly will support it, and if need be, we extend it to our secondary schools and our universities.
Thank you. So you will come by way of amendment when we call for amendments. So now we are debating.
Thank you.
Let me hear the Prince. After that, I will yield the floor to the youth. Honorable Rufai, I would like you to say something. Let's know what your generation is thinking about it. Then we will come here. We are coming to you. We'll also give you the same time. Yes.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Ibrahim Al-Mustafa Aliyu, member representing Wurno Raba from Sokoto State.
Your microphone, please.
Our country has suffered a lot due to moral decadence. The failure of the home system, family home system in the past, is yielding to serious challenges we are facing today of insecurity. People maiming, killing, and rustling. So many crimes, including fraudsters, that goes through your account, and before you know it, everything moved. And today, we are faced with another challenge, completely aligned to our cultural setup, which is another time bomb. And that's why I want to commend the mover of this motion. When so many of us are busy doing something else, some people are critically looking at what goes around. Not only through the hard copies of books in the nursery primary schools, even the tabloids that we buy and give to our children, that they have access to YouTube and other channels. There are a lot of contents that you and me cannot, if not closely monitored, you will not know that they are even more advanced than you as their father or mother. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I want to add that in addition to banning these publications that are in hard copy, Also, the NRC, Nigerian Education Research Council, ERC, should also look towards banning some of the soft copy materials in terms of the contents in the tabloids that our children are exposed to. So I so move, Mr. Speaker, and also contribute. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On this side, the last person, Honorable Al-Rufai.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Mohammed Bello Al-Rufai. I represent the people of Kaduna North. I would like to thank you for having a busy schedule to debate this issue. It is important. I'll try to get the point straight, Mr. Speaker. Senior parliamentarians have spoken a lot about this, and they've highlighted what's most important. There is an act. There is an act, and its terms are clear. But, Mr. Speaker, as you said, in our generation, I will get personal and tell you that I moved my daughter from a school whose name I will not mention for obvious reasons. When I found out at the nursery level, they thought it was okay for bathrooms to be shared. I studied in America for a long time, and one thing that kept me grounded, and I'll speak for Honorable Shagaya, is because of our culture, going to Islamic school from the Christian side, going to Bible school. And when we were there, we respected their cultures and their ways. The only thing we ask for is when you are here, you do the same. A World Cup was done in Qatar, and Mr. Speaker, you know the scandal that followed it. And all the Qataris asked for was for their values to be respected while they were there. And at the end of the day, they ended up having an amazing, peaceful World Cup. The world will be a better place if we are more tolerant and respect the sovereignty and values of each state we visit. And finally, sir, I watch a lot of TV shows, and you can see how they slowly insert these issues in order to get the young at a young age. I want to thank you for the opportunity and highlight how brilliant this motion is. And I assure you, Mr. Speaker, I do not speak for the young generation. I'm part of them. But a lot of the members of the young generation, some of your children will be proud by the position we have taken here. We know where we are from, and we'll continue to remember that. Thank you very much, sir.
Very sound presentation. I'm always proud of the young parliamentarians when you are dumb-breaked, when you ventilate issues in this manner. Logically presented. Very impressive, very impressive. Okay, we are over here now, and we are going to hear people speak. I saw some people move their seats from here to there. Don't worry, I'll call you if we have 4, and then there is a space for you to do that. My friend from Sokoto in the front, no. You are looking back. From Zamfara said.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please make it brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Abiru Ahmadu Mai Palace is my name. I represent the entire people of Gusau Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Zamfara State. I first of all
Chairman walks. I hope you are not leaving. Approach the chair.
Mr. Speaker, I want first of all to thank the mover of this very important motion. Secondly, I equally want to extend a call to all of us, the parents. It's very important to know the kind of school that we enroll our kids. This kind of unaccepted behavior, the LGBT, it is easily to go through to our nursery and primary schools than our tertiary institutions. And I also want to call on all the state governors. They should copy from the governor of Kano State and Zamfara States. I think just last week, Kano State government stopped a circulation of this particular book that the mover of the motion quoted. The Kano State government stopped the circulation of the book for the entire state. The Zamfara State governor, because of this particular issue, shut down the operations of all private schools in the states. And Mr. Speaker, if our governors can be able to do the same, I think this issue, we can be able to ground it as early as possible.
Thank
so
you.
much.
That was a good one. Let's hear from the communicator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and dear colleagues. I'm going to speak as a teacher and to say that we can pass 1001 motions, but except we address the fundamentals. And what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals is that we are failing as parents. The students or our pupils spend 8 hours in school. The rest of the hours are spent in our homes. And then parents have abandoned the training and upbringing of their children to teachers alone. So I urge that our parents must be alive. We must be conscious of the kind of books and the kind of aids that our students, our pupils use. We must monitor what they do at home. Like a colleague also expressed, we must monitor what they watch on television. There are programs that are rated. All programs are rated. They say this is good for the adult, this is not good for the adult. But we have allowed our children to have television in their homes and everywhere, in their rooms, and they watch all kinds of things. I urge that both teachers and parents alike should be alive to their responsibility. Thank you.
I just want people to understand the line of the conversation. We are focusing on what goes out of our schools. The parents, you have your responsibility, but as a government institution, as an arm of government, we owe the nation this protection, especially the coming generation. So I'm going to allow Honorable Isiaka from the back, then I'll come to the front again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My own speaking speaker, essential man with substantial values.
Honorable Abiente, after him, you.
My dear honorable colleagues, Isiaka Yokunle Ibrahim, I speak for and on behalf of the very good people of Ifo Federal Constituency. Proudly, I'm from the fastest growing economic state in Nigeria. I'm from Ogun State. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the mover of this timely motion. And I just have a few things to add to what he had already encapsulated and what my other colleagues have actually raised. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, we started missing it right from when schools were seized from the missionaries. And I think up to today, it's left unabated and we are yet to get out of it, Mr. Speaker. Moral decadence that has bedeviled our society is even on the very high side. That leads to various interventions. Yes, according to my honorable colleague that mentions parenthood, guardian, and other stuff. And Mr. Speaker, as the agencies of governments that have been mentioned in the motion, UBEC, Universal Basic Education, they have a critical role to play because they regulate most of the curriculum on our various primary, secondary schools and nurseries. And of course, we have state universal basic educations across the Federation, in each state of the Federation. How to put them to task, how we are going to set a yardstick, and to measure periodically through the Ministry of Education. It's very important, and that's the only way we can get out of it. Not forgetting that there is no nation that can even grow too much or above what we call education. I so submit, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for yielding the floor to me.
Thank you, Honorable Abiante.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished colleagues.
Please, very brief.
Awaji Nombek Dagomie Abiante. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend and thank my friend for bringing this up before us. Mr. Speaker, I would want to ask, are there persons that deserve to be protected If the answer is yes, the most vulnerable of this group are those in pre-nursery, nursery, primary, and even a few in the secondary schools. They deserve our protection as those who represent them. Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, how do books get approved for the purposes of impacting knowledge? There are always criteria for books to be adopted. It simply suggests to me, Mr. Speaker, that there has been a complete failure in monitoring. Curriculums are developed, texts are recommended. So how did these books get into our usage? Mr. Speaker, recently, we remember what happened somewhere in Delta State. We have not had them learning and teaching with this material. But we remember what happened in Delta State, where there was a seeming wedding, an alleged wedding ceremony for people of the same sex. We have not gotten to this point, and we are already there. Mr. Speaker, there is a connect between drug abuse and issues like this. In recent times, there have been several incidences of domestic violence. Where and how does it start? There are issues of sexual harassment. We have legislated against this in these chambers, Mr. Speaker. If we cannot control it from this boarding point, then all our efforts must have failed. Mr. Speaker and my distinguished colleagues, even those from whom they claim to be copying these things from are becoming very worried. There was a statement recently by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom affirming that a man is a man, a woman is a woman. Even in the United States of America, there are concerns on this. So why do we want to look more Catholic than the Pope itself? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. This man who moved seats from here to here, let's give you that chance. There must be something important you want to say, but make it brief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Fanyinka Moses Oluwatobi. I represent the group people of Muslim. I cannot thank the mover of this motion enough. They have done well. The leadership, thank you very much. These shows that are very, very sensitive to the future of this nation. Without belaboring the issue, sir, I want to move as a way of amendment that after the banning of this draconian...
Okay, you will come under amendment, which is what we are entering now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll call it off for amendment.
I should see that, sir.
Yeah, I'll call it for amendment.
Okay.
Gombe, okay, you. Go ahead. No, not you. Yes, yes, my brother. Gombe, after that, you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Dr. Adebayo Adepoju. I represent the good people of the Ibarapa Central and the Ibarapa North Federal Constituency of the Payseta State, Oyo State. I would like to thank the mover of this motion because I think this is a very critical and important motion at this state of our existence in this nation called Nigeria. I think this problem can be solved if we decide to enforce the already written laws we have in this country. Let's remember that Nigeria is a sovereign nation and Nigeria is a secular nation made up of very strong religious values. I also want to remind all of us, honorable colleagues, that enshrined in our Constitution is the freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to live anywhere in the country, but not the freedom to choose your own sex. I think if we ensure that we enforce the laws of this nation, we should not be having this problem.
Round up.
While I support all this freedom, I also want to express the fact that I do not support the freedom of restricting or of further restricting the press. So I think while we try to curtail this menace in our society, we also have to ensure that we are not further restricting the press of this country, because I think the press has been restricted more than enough. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Gombe Speaker, former, final.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am Right Honorable Inu Garba, member representing the good people of...
Please, 1 minute. You have 1 minute.
...of Yamatu Deba, Federal Constituency, Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, while I concur with the previous speakers in commending the mover of this motion, I want to equally highlight my own observation to that effect. Any society without building its morality, that society is gone, and is gone forever. Talk less of allowing something of this nature to start from our schools, where our children are the future of tomorrow. So I want to add one key area that our attention should always focus. Mr. Speaker, in some of the schools, there is no standard curriculum. If you go to private university schools, you say that they are using British curriculum, all sorts of curriculums. There is no standard of curriculums, number one. Secondly, the social media. Nigeria is the only country on the earth with over 200 million people that has no technology gateway. Anybody want to send to Nigeria will have to come directly without any system to checkmate or to stop it. So we have to look at all these key areas, Mr. Speaker.
All right. I think on the issue of social media, it have to come from another motion. For this one, we are restricting it. I think we have listened to a whole lot of you on this. We will take one amendment here, only two. One here and one there, and we are done. Honorable Falata. Then engineer, get ready. You, with the red cap, yes.
Because education is a concurrent, it's on the concurrent list, I am suggesting that prayer 1 should be amended to read, urge the federal, state, and local governments, to place a total ban. Then prayer 2, the last sentence should be amended to remove immoral behavior replaced with pervasive culture. The words immoral behavior should be removed and then replaced with pervasive culture. That's my amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, any seconder to this amendment? Yes, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Umar Ajilu, member representing the very good people of Magharibi Kudan, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I am from Kano State. I rise to second a motion of amendment ably moved by my senior colleagues. As to second.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. One amendment from here. I promise you amendment. First you, before that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Amendment that going forward, after the banning, it shall now become a criminal offense for an individual or group of individuals within the primary school, secondary school, and tertiary institution in Nigeria to either make use of these items so banned or teach any of the students. Number 2 amendment, that the committee in charge of NCC should impress it on the NCC that it should be on our phones once we open it, that all these items displayed on our phone is illegal in Nigeria. It is being done elsewhere in the world. We don't want it in Nigeria. So when you open your phone...
No, you can't use a motion to do a bill. You can come with a bill on that because there is an establishment act for NCC. So okay. The first leg of your motion,
yes,
of amendment
I stepped down the second one, so I sustain the first.
You say what?
The second one is hereby stepped down. So the first leg is.
Okay. Any seconder to the first leg? Any seconder? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Saad Taura by name, representing the good people of Ringim and Taura Federal Constituency. I'm from Jigawa State, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the motion amendment moved by my honorable colleague. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I don't think we will take more amendment on this. There is no time.
Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Basic Education and Services. Please let me mention that motion 12, 17, and 19 is the infrastructure motion. All we want you to do is mention the title, give us the prayer. Please, we want to do that quickly when we call that. So the 12th order of the day is a motion on rehabilitation of Lafia, Guam, Pan, Shedam, Ibi Federal Road in Plateau and Taraba State, standing in the names of Honorable Isaac Kaile Kwalu and one other honorable member. Honorable Kwalu is invited to move the motion. Is he here?
Yeah. I'm present, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
please. Let's have just the title and the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The People's Speaker, distinguished members of the National Assembly, I remain myself Isaac Kwalu. I represent the good people of Mikang, Kwanpan, and Shandam Federal Constituency from Plateau State. I arise this afternoon to move this motion to rehabilitate Lafia, Kwanpan, Shandam, Ibi Federal Road in Plateau State and Taraba State. Mr. Speaker, this motion is co-sponsored by Honorable Ayuba Zako Dampar, member representing Wukari and Ibi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, based on, due to time constraint, I will go straight to the prayers. To urge the Federal Ministry of Works and the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to rehabilitate the Lafia Kwanpan Shandam Ibi Federal Road to curb incidents, to curb accident and robbery incidences, and to also for the free and safe movement of agricultural produce, goods and services. To mandate the Committee on Works and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I here move.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to that? Yes, you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague. My name is Amofi Osara Omoruyi, representing the good people of Ego, Ikwebaka Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. Mr. Speaker, so second.
It's an infrastructure motion, so I just put the
Amendment,
question.
sir. There's an amendment. There's an amendment.
We will not be taking amendment on this one. It's infrastructure and it's related to that place. Okay, Oshoba, let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Olumide Oshoba representing Abeokuta North, Obafemode, and Odeda Federal Constituency. Speaker, sir, Prayer 1 urges Federal Ministry of Works and Federal Road Maintenance Agency. Prayer 2 should have Committee on FEMA as well, since you already have Federal Road Maintenance Agency in Prayer 1. Thank you so much.
Okay, you want FEMA to be part of the prayer too? Those in support of that amendment say aye. No, any seconder to that amendment, please. Yes, please, you. Thank you very much. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committees on Works on Legislative Compliance, as well as FEMA. And the motion that we moved, that we took works, and we took environment, and we took justice, clerk, kindly add to that prayer Committee on Science and Tech, because raw material resources is under the research. Add it there for it to be more thorough. The next motion, which is motion order 13, I want you to mention just the name and go to your prayers. It's already published. We can read it, please. Honorable colleagues, the 13th order of the day is a motion on the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to release the approved 27.6 billion as part of the funds generated from gas flaring penalties to host communities, in compliance with the Petroleum Industrial Act, standing in the name of Honorable Awaji Inombek D. Abiante. Honorable Abiante is invited to move the motion. Please, the title and the prayers.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, my very distinguished colleagues. Awaji Inombek Dagomie Abiante, Anthony Opobo Nkora Federal Constituency. Arise to move the motion on the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to release the approved 27.6 billion naira as part of funds generated from gas flaring penalties to host communities in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act. I hereby urge and invite the House to resolve as follows. Urge the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Ministry of Finance immediately release the approved 27.6 billion to host communities as prescribed by the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. 2. Also urge the federal government to hasten the approval of the release of the balance of the funds.
Gumi, where are you going? Sit down.
3. Mandate the Committee on Host Communities to ensure and monitor the release of the initial approved 27.6 billion to legitimate representatives of host communities in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and statutory provisions, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move.
This is a very straightforward motion. Any seconder to it? Yes. Behind the man wearing suits, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished honorable colleagues, I here to second the motion heavily moved by my honorable colleagues. I so second it.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Host Communities. The 14th order of the day, please, you also do the same thing that was done by the last person. Just present the name and then you go to the prayer. The 14th order of the day is a motion on the congestion of correctional services center in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Chinedu Enoga and one other honorable member. Honorable Oga is invited to move the motion. Honorable Oga, please. The title and the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen, member representing Ikwo as Asa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. Motion on the congestion of correction service center in Nigeria. This motion has been moved by myself and my colleagues, Honorable Imebi Okon. Mr. Speaker, resolve of this motion urge the Federal Ministry of Interior to rehabilitate and decongest Nigeria correction centers, address both short-term and long-term challenges, and make provision for the project in 2024 budget estimate. Also, urge the National Human Rights Commission and the Legal Aid Council to conduct independent assignment of correction centers across the country to ensure compliance with the global standard and human rights principle. Mandate the Committee on Interior, Human Rights and Justice to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I hereby move.
Thank you. Any seconder to this? Right behind the man wearing the blue shirt. I can't see you clearly from here. No, I want a seconder first before amendment. Okay, you. Second, please. Honorable colleague, yes, yes. Go ahead.
Oxibam Saraji. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gani Ayuba is my name.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the privilege. Gani Adile Ayuba is my name. I represent Alimosho Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. I rise this afternoon to second the amendment ably moved by my colleague. I also second.
No, you are seconding the motion.
Oh, sorry, the motion ably moved by my colleague.
Thank you.
I also second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Interior, Human Rights and Justice. The 15th order of the day is a motion on implementation of integrated sustainable urban development and physical planning across the states of the Federation. Standing in the name of Honorable Philip Abase and one other honorable member. Honorable Abase is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Abase is not here.
No, I'm the co-sponsor of the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Wombo.
Sir. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Solomon Wombo.
Introduce it and go to your prayers, please.
I am the co-sponsor of this motion with my colleague Philip Agbesi. The motion is about implementation of integrated and sustainable urban development and physical planning across the states of the Federation.
Sorry, to the former motion, I add Committee on Reformation. It's our new creation. Clerk at the table, please take note. Committee on Reformation should be added to the list of the committees. Go ahead.
In one sentence, the memo seeks to address the consequences of not adhering to master plans of our cities and the physical planning thereof. The prayers are to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to collaborate with states' urban development departments to develop a comprehensive integrated urban development plan. 2, mandate the Committee on Urban Development and Physical Planning to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to that motion? Right at the back with the yes. You, yes, please. I can't see you clearly from here. Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Esosa Yahweh. I represent the good people of Uredu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State. I rise to second the motion as moved from my brother. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Urban Development and Physical Planning. The 16th order of the day is a motion on non-inclusion of maritime transport facilities as part of the palliative for the fuel subsidy removal, standing in the name of Honorable Julius Bajo Ponde. Honorable Ponde is invited to move the motion, introduce the title, and go to the prayers.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Ponde is not on the floor. I move that it be stepped down. Thank
Motion
you.
is hereby stepped down on the order of the House. The 17th order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate Bauchi Ningi Kanu Road in Ningi Waji Federal Constituency of Bauchi State, starting in the name of Honorable Adamu Hashimu Ranga and 6 other honorable members. Honorable Ranga is invited to move the motion. It's an infrastructure motion. Mention the title and give me the prayers, please. Okay. Give us the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues. As it has been mentioned by my honorable speaker that the motion was sponsored by 6 honorable members. I will go directly to the prayers. the House should urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to deploy resources to address the situation and include it in the 2024 budget estimate. Then second, to mandate the Committees on Works and Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to ensure compliance. I so move, sir.
Thank you. It's an infrastructure motion. Any seconder to it? Right at the back. Please hurry up. Any other person to second it? That the microphone is on. Lion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Remain Honorable Mohammed Jamil Gazana, member representing the good people of Kankara, Faskari, Sabwa constituency in Kazana State. I stood today to second a motion heavily moved by my fellow colleague. Thank you, sir.
The question is, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Works and Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA. The 18th order of the day is a motion on investigation into allegation of abuse, breach, and violation of the Public Procurement Act 2007. The engagement of consultants for pre-shipment inspection, monitoring of crude oil, and gas export from Nigeria. This is standing in the name of Honorable Kabiru Amadu. Honorable Amadu is invited to move the motion, introduce the title, and give us the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Kabiru Amadu Maipalis is my name. I represent the entire people of Gusau IP Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move this motion for the investigation into the abuse, breach, and violation of the Public Procurement Act 2007 in the engagement of consultants for the pre-shipment inspection and monitoring of crude oil and gas exports from Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I have only one single prayer. I will read the last paragraph, then jump to...
Just go to the prayer.
Mr. Speaker, my prayers is to mandate the Committee on Public Procurement to investigate allegations of abuse, breach, and violation of the Public Procurement Act 2007 in the engagement of consultants for the pre-shipment inspection and monitoring of crude oil gas exports from Nigeria, and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. It's a well-written motion that is straight to the point. I need a seconder for this motion. No, you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Adam Hashim Ranga, representing Ningiwaji Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Public Procurement. Honorable colleagues, the 19th order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate Bikwara Ogoja Ekom Calabar Federal Highway in Cross River State, standing in the name of Honorable Godwin Ofiono. Honorable Ofiono is invited to move the motion. It's an infrastructure motion. We just need the title and the prayers, please.
Mr. Speaker, my very dear honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Godwin Ode Ofiono. I represent the good people of Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Cross River State. I have a motion on the need to rehabilitate the Bikwara Ogoja Ikom Calabar Federal Highway in Cross River State. Mr. Speaker, in line with your directives, I'm going to quickly move to the prayers of this motion. Prayer 1, the House resolves and all the Federal Ministry of Works and the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to provide palliative measures on the Bekwara, Ogoja, Ecom, Calabar Road to ease the movement of goods and services. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the House resolves also to urge the Federal Ministry of Works to make adequate budgetary provisions in the 2024 budget estimates to address the deplorable condition of the Kwara, Ogoja, Ecom, Calabar Federal Highway in Cross River State. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the House mandate the Committee on Works to ensure compliance. I'm very grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, Tessia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Tese Ubo. I am from Pando Shingo Federal Constituency of Benue State. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. It's an infrastructure-related motion, so we'll just ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works and Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA. The 20th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate on the reporting of wins, extract e-product by mines and quarry license operators standing in the name of Honorable Nkem Kama. Honorable Kama is invited to move the motion. Please, the title and then the prayers because it is published.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. First of all, Mr. Speaker, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I arise to move a motion on the need to investigate the underreporting of wins, extract e-product by mines and quarry license operators in Nigeria. I have only one prayer because all of us already know the importance of this, and the prayer is simple. The House resolved to mandate the Committee on Solid Minerals Development to investigate mining reports from federal mine officers of the state alongside holders of mining and quarry licenses in the last 15 years and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move.
Thank you very much. Straightforward to the point. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, the man with the white card.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Donatus Matthew is my name, member representing Kaura Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as ably moved.
Thank you, honorable colleague. Straight to the point. That you are seconding. I just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Solid Minerals Development. The 21st order of the day is consideration of a bill for an hour to establish a Nigerian Medical Research Council, and for related matters 2023. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 10th of October 2023. The leader will move for its consideration. Leader, move the motion, please.
Mr. Speaker,
Leader, I want you to take 21 and 22 at the same time because of time.
I rise to move for a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Medical Research Council and for related matters 2023, HB 470. Mr. Speaker, I also seek your permission to move that the bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap 17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and establish the Federal Polytechnic Rano, Kano State, and for related matters, HB 92, be taken at the same time. I so move.
Please, leader, rise and second both the first and the second one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable George Ibezima Kozodinobi. I represent the good people of Njikoka Nocha, Dunukofia Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion every moved by the leader to go on committee of the whole on the bill.
No, to do consideration.
To move for consideration on the bill.
Of the two bills, just mention just the first and the second bill.
Yes, on the first and second bill, number 21 and 22.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, move that the House do resolve into the committee of the whole to consider the bills.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do resolve into committee of the whole to consider the two bills. I so move.
The House must be heard in silence. Honorable Flather, control the team. Please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable George Ibezima Kozodinobi, represents Njikoka and Ocha Dunukofia. I rise to second that the House move to committee of the whole. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in support that the House resolve into committee of the whole to consider these bills say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The House hereby resolved into the committee of the whole. Most distinguished colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to establish a Nigerian Medical Research Council and for the related matters 2023. I invite the leader to move the synopsis of the bill. Leader, please give synopsis, make it as brief as 1 line, 2 line, not more than a minute, please.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihondere, who and DSSRS on one federal constituency of those states. This bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Medical Research Council. Essentially, as contained in the bill, the Research Council is designed to accomplish so many things that are currently missing in that sector, from research to innovation to creativity to supporting startups to running hospitals and clinics and supporting biomedical research and so on. Mr. Speaker, this is timely,
Mr. Chairman,
and critical. I urge my colleagues to please consider approving this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So the question is that these clauses stand part of the bill, and we have about 25 clauses here. Clause 1 to 5? Yes. Abiante. I can't hear you. Clause 2? Yes? I can't hear you. Which A? What, 2A?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and my colleagues, my concern is on the qualification of who shall be the chairman. 2(2)A, clause 2, sub 2A, medical and biomedical. Are they two qualifications? Is it the same thing? Will it be on the same certificate? Can one be exchanged for the other?
I think it should be and or. And or. It should be or.
And or.
No, it should be or.
Or. So that's my concern, sir.
Medical
Or biomedical.
or biomedical sciences.
Thank you, my chairman, sir.
Okay, 2 as amended. In legal drafting. No. Oh, it's fine. Either of them will make you a chairman. So, Honorable Abiante, move that wherever we see medical and biomedical, we'll say all through the clauses.
Thank you very much, my chairman and my colleagues. I move to state that any part of this bill where medical and biomedical appears, as appropriate, it should read medical or biomedical. Thank you.
Those in support of that say aye. So we have 2 as amended, and anywhere it appears for it to replace and with or. 6 to 10. You want 4?
Yes.
I thought we passed 4. Okay.
It says 6 to 4.
Okay.
Yes. Functions of the board. 4.
So we now do
Sub
just.
F.
So let's do.
Plus 4
two,
sub.
2 is done.
Yes.
3
It's gone.
carried. Then 4.
Yes, sir. 4.
4 what?
4 sub 2F.
Yes.
The mandate is that the board shall determine the remuneration and tenure of the employee of the council without reference to the revenue mobilization, salaries and wages, sorry. And in clause 7, reference was made to salaries, income, salaries and wages commission. So I don't know why that contradiction. If the board can afford to fix wages without recourse to income, salaries and wages commission, why are they making reference to
Okay,
it?
let's not waste time. We will amend F to read, determine the remuneration and tenure of the employee of the council
in consultation, consultation with income, salaries and wages.
As determined by income, wages and salaries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So 4 as amended. Carried. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 15. Who said 11? Okay, 12. Okay.
12 sub 2. The board may, with the approval of the minister, sell or lease any land, laboratories, offices, or premises held by it and no longer required for the performance of its functions. Wow. How would that pave way for accountability, my chairman? That's my only question, sir. So, between the minister and whoever is the board can sell off every property that belongs to this council. And by the next year, they will approach the National Assembly for another appropriation, probably to replace what they have sold off.
We are going to have it read this way. The board may, with the approval of the minister, and in line with our extant laws, and regulations, sell or lease any land, laboratory, offices, or premises held by it. Okay? I want suggestions on that before I rule. Because the chief accounting officer in this case is the minister. So which means we can hold the minister accountable.
Mr. Chairman, can we step this particular clause down and then maybe, I don't know, because it's too complicated.
No, it's not. The chief accounting officer there is the minister. There are times they will say, we don't need this property or we can lease it to raise money, but we as National Assembly will ask them for the inflow from that one they are leasing. Maybe they have a big property that they cannot use at the moment. They can't allow it to be followed. They can lease it, but they must be accountable to the parliament when we come for them to, account for the things that are under them, under budget performance. Does it make sense? So in line with relevant laws. Okay? So 12 should read the board may, with the approval of the minister, in line with relevant laws, sell or lease any land, So 12 is amended. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24. Why are you carrying 24 when you have not carried 23? I wanted to know those who are attentive. 23, 24, 25, explanatory memorandum, schedule, long title, The second bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap 17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal Polytechnics, Rano, Kano State, and for related matters. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of this bill. Please, leader, as brief as possible. Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill was taken last week, and I think we stepped down part of it in order to include it in the relevant schedules. And what we are required to do today is to acknowledge its inclusion in the first schedule, section 1, which is number Q, the Federal Polytechnic Rano, and no more. I so present, Mr. Speaker.
Any second? Sorry, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do second for the bill.
No, leader, please sit. Please sit, please. Sit. We have not done clause by clause. We have only 4 clauses to. We have only 4 clauses to. The leader, it's not your fault. We have only 4 clauses to this because you remember this came up last time, and we said we need to prune it and fine tune it in line with our existing Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap 17, and that's what we're doing today, like the leader said. So it's only 4 clauses, 3 clauses. Clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, schedules, explanatory memorandum, long title, the heading,
the spelling of the polytechnics.
Oh, spelling. Okay, it's typographical error. They will arrange that one. Okay. Leader, please move that we revert to plenary to consider the report.
Mr. Chairman, having considered the 2 bills by the whole House, I move that the House do resort to plenary and for the chairman to report progress. I so move, Mr.
Leader,
Chairman.
second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to second that the House do revert back to plenary.
Those in support of the House revert to plenary to consider report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The House now reverts to plenary. The House in Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to establish a Nigerian Medical Council and for related matters 2023 and for related matters and approve Clause 1, Clause 2 as amended, Clause 3, Clause 4 as amended, Clause 5 to 11, Clause 12 as amended, Clauses 13 to 25, the schedule, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. The House in Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap 17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and establish Federal Polytechnics, Rano, Kano State, and for related matters, and approve Clauses 1 to 3, the schedule, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Leader, please. Move that the House do adopt the report of the recommendations of the Committee of the Whole.
I rise to move that the House do adopt the report of the Speaker on the two bills we just reported. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion moved by the leader for us to adopt.
Thank you. The question is those in support that of the motion that the House do adopt the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, I want to thank you for staying up to this time again today. We appreciate you that the cause of nation building has been a sacrificial one. You've endeavored to be diligent in carrying out this very important mandate that your people gave to you. They are watching. They are seeing you and they are impressed. They are dedicated. That your seat is not vacant. You may not understand, but in their mind, in the next election, they'll be looking for those parliamentarians who takes parliamentary job seriously. Keep making your seat warm. Don't leave it vacant. And I invite the Leader of the House to move that the House be adjourned to next week Tuesday, time 11 o'clock. Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Humphreys, ONDSSRS, I rise to move that the House do adjourn to next week Tuesday, 11 a.m. prompt. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable George Ibezima Kozotinovi from Njikoka, Nocha Dunukofia. I rise to second that the House do adjourn till Tuesday next week.
A call for an adjournment has been made. This motion has been moved by the majority leader of the House and seconded from the minority. Those in support of this motion that the House be adjourned to next week Tuesday, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it and the nays will stay back.